In the world of baking, where skill means passion, only the most adept bakers can have custom-made cake that add that extra touch of magic to your day. These personalized creations, known as bespoke cakes, are a true testament to the artistry and craftsmanship of our exceptional bakers. Thank you for staying tuned to Baker's World. Stay with us for an episode filled with sweetness, creativity, and the joy of baking. I am Funke Oyeyele Ashalaye, and I'm delighted to know you're watching. Today, we have a special treat for you. Join us as we unveil the secret to a healthy and delightful snack, the irresistible cinnamon roll. This crowd-pleasing recipe is perfect for any occasion, and we can't wait to share it. Now let's welcome our esteemed guest for this week, the talented and vibrant cake maker, Ruth Swart Buber. She'll be sharing her invaluable experiences and insights into the cake business. You're welcome to the program. You're still watching Baker's World on the network service of the NTA. Today I have with me a young, passionate baker. She is the CEO of Swart Confectionery. You're welcome to Baker's World.
Thank you so much for having me, ma'am.
We're so happy to have you, and we especially love when we see young people into the business of baking. So talk to us about how you got into the business of baking.
Firstly, my mom was a baker. I grew up in a house where they were always baking cakes, all right? Then, fast forward to, I started baking 5 years ago. So fast forward 5 years ago, I'd finished uni, I was married, I didn't have a job. And then I sat down, I said to myself, why don't you start up baking? You know, go back to the old profession of your mother. And that was how I enrolled into modern days baking, the professional baking. And that's how I started.
Let's talk about the high profile cakes that you made, how you got them, how you created them. Talk to us about those orders.
I've baked a cake for former governor of Kaduna State, that is Malam Nasir El-Rufai. I have also baked for the present Emir of Zauzau. For high profile customers like that, usually come through referrals. It could be from people I've baked for in the past, and they must have enjoyed the cake itself and they love the design.
What kind of cakes do people order for these days, given the high cost of materials in the market?
With the change in price in everything right now, currently with the hardship in Nigeria at the moment, it's affecting bakers in every angle. Is it the egg? Is it the flour, sugar, butter? Name it. Okay, so it has made cakes now very expensive. So most clients just always ask for the cheaper option. But yeah, there are other customers that want they'll go all out. the ones that can afford it. But now, honestly, the market has been on the low.
And we have to talk about clients. Sometimes some clients just walk in and say, oh, I saw this design, and they bring a whole bunch of different catalogs to you and they say, oh, look at this, I saw this was done here, this was done there. And you look at it at first glance and you're like, oh, I don't think I can do this, so this looks like an impossible, challenging cake. How do you go about this type of order?
I love cakes that are quite challenging. For me, I love to, for anybody who has baked with me knows that I do not like to repeat designs, cake designs. I'll let my client understand that some of these work materials are not readily available, let's say for instance in Nigeria, right? And then secondly, I would indulge them, give them other cake designs that might be a substitute for them. So for some, they would buy into the idea of getting another cake design, while others might just not want to buy the idea.
Let's talk about the cake and the pastry you're making today. You're crafting it, but what type of bag are you crafting? Is it like a famous designer bag? How are you going to achieve this? Because I'm very curious about that. And the pastry you're also making. To talk to us about how you're going to do that.
For crafted cakes like that, you know, we have varieties of cakes. We have cakes in different textures. So, but then for cakes like that you have to craft, they are specially made in a particular texture. You know, there are some cakes that are very soft, moist. You could do that, you could play around them with whipped cream, buttercream, and whatever. But with cakes like crafted cakes like that, you need the cake to be a little bit firm. So we're going to be using a butter-based cake. Okay, it's going to be a vanilla and a strawberry cake. So that's what we'll be using to craft it. And we'll be frosting it. Firstly, we'll be frosting it in buttercream, and then the final coating is going to be in fondant. It's going to be a very cute portable handbag that you could even mistake it for. You just try to pick it up and go to your office or go for a wedding. You know, there are so many recipes, but this is going to be like an easy and a very easy recipe that you could make in your kitchen. Mainly people order them when they have mini picnics, just little or maybe a little get together. Yes, I think it's a French pastry, so it's not so common. So many people are not so familiar with it.
Speaking about the business of baking, there are a lot of young people out there who also, don't have something they are doing at the moment, but they say, my passion is to create edibles for people to eat. They love the culinary art and all, but they always complain that it's very hard to get into baking because you have to get a lot of tools, and the cost of starting the baking business is very high. What would be your advice for such person?
Absolutely, it costs a lot, but the tactics I used was, at the time I started, I enrolled, finished, then I had little money to buy 1 or 2 tools. Of course, you can't buy all of the tools at once, it's impossible. It's going to take you you need a lot of money to do that. So what I did was, I made sure at each point, for every cake I make, I must buy a baking tool. So that was how I was able to save up, and then I started having 1 or 2 or so many tools till date.
Thank you very much. It's really been a pleasure having this chat with you.
It's a pleasure here. So thank you, ma'am. Thanks for having me.
That was our conversation with Ruth Swart Buba, the CEO of Swart's Confectionery. Now we'll take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll have Baker's Gist on the lineup for you. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
This year's theme was Sugar Meets Real Estate. And I thought about it, sugar meets real estate. We are talking about putting up structures, building with sugar craft. And I thought of something that will really represent my people and not just an ordinary structure anyhow. And I decided to replicate the palace of the Tortiv. That is the king's palace, the king of the Tiv people. And that's just like a portion of the palace. It's wide, but I picked that place that has the lion head that signifies the strength. And then the colors of the Tiv, which are the black and the white. And you know, the lions also kingship. So that was just what came up my mind. And I knew that if I do that, I wouldn't just be presenting sugar crafting real estate. I'll also be projecting the tea people and presenting the strength we have as a people to the cake world. But of course, I do have a team that assists. So we work together to achieve that greatness. It's 100% edible. Even the lions are made from sugar. Everything there is sugar. We just have maybe 1% that is other accessories added to it. Straight away, it's going to be cut at the end of the event. Yes, it will be shared.
Just washing my hands before starting. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make an easy homemade cinnamon roll. So here we have some flour. I'm going to put in some sugar, some salt. I'll add in my yeast. Mix the dry ingredients together. We go in with some butter. Okay. At this point, you make sure all your ingredients are well incorporated. So I think at this point we're good. Now just make a hole in the middle. Put in your egg and go in with your milk. So mix that thoroughly. At this point, we're going to transfer our dough to the table in order to knead properly. So you knead thoroughly till it's stretchy. So our dough is well mixed, as you can see. Now I'm going to keep it to rest for 5-10 minutes. So while that is resting, we're going to make our cinnamon filling. So we need some butter, sugar, and then our cinnamon powder, ground cinnamon powder. So you mix. This process doesn't take much of your time. All you just need to do is just to make sure the ingredients are well mixed together, and that's it. Okay, so at this point our dough is well rested. Now we're gonna knead it a bit, okay? Then roll it out. So while rolling it, make sure we need it to be in a rectangular shape, not round or square. It has to be in a rectangular shape. We're going to spread our filling. Make sure it's evenly done. Okay. So now we begin to roll. Just roll it gently. So the reason why I mentioned earlier that you need it to be in a rectangular shape is because at this point we are going to be cutting it this way. You can use your normal table knife at home to cut it, but to get a beautiful shape of the dough, all you need is a floss, a dental floss. You go in, go underneath, twist, and then you cut. So I'm going to transfer my rolls into my baking tray. Okay, so now I'm going to put it into a dark and warm place for it to proof before baking. So that shouldn't take more than 20-30 minutes for it to proof. So as you can see, our cinnamon roll is well baked, looking very beautiful, and the aroma is fantastic. Okay, so you can serve this with tea or fresh juice, or you can top it up with some milk, and it doesn't go bad easily. So an easy way of preserving it is just to refrigerate. Whenever you're ready to eat, you bring it, keep it for it to be back into room temperature, and then that's it.
Hi, wonderful people. This is your girl, Grace Edache. I'm live on Baker's World NTA, the channel to stick to for your best recipes for home bakers. Whether you're a professional or not, hang on to this station. Keep watching.
Okay, so now I'm going to be decorating a cake in form of a bag, a handbag. First, we're going to start by trimming. Okay, I'm just measuring the cake because I'm going to divide it into, I'll be dividing it into two. So I need to measure it in order to get an equal part. So if you have two different flavors like I do over here, it's very important to layer them according to each flavor. Again, we're going with our buttercream. So now we'll need to secure the cake, else it's at the point of transporting it, it will crumble. Not even it might, will crumble. So we'll be needing dowel rods, okay, to secure them. Our cake has been secured. Try carving to get the shape of a bag, just a little bit. Make sure you don't go too deep into your cake so that you don't overcarve. Try to get the shape of a bag. It's always advisable to have like a picture of what you intend doing. Okay, this will always guide you. You can see I'm just touching the first layer gently, all right? Not so much, just play around with it till you're able to achieve what you want. So looking at the picture of what I'm trying to recreate here, there's a slight curve around this area, which I'm trying to create. Remember to always go back to your picture to make sure you don't overcut or undercut. This will guide you on how to carve your cake properly, because the aesthetics of the cake actually depends on the carving and stacking of the cake. So looking at the picture I have, I think I'm okay with everything looks okay with the carving. So now I'll just tidy up a bit, then crumb coat my cake with the buttercream. So the cake is well crumb coated. The next step is to cover it in fondant, which I'm going to be doing shortly. Okay, most importantly, you have to make the handle of your bag like 2 or 3 days before decorating the cake. So I've already made my handle, which is drying, but I'm going to illustrate how to make the handle of the bag. Then you need a guide, any round shaped object depending on the size of your bag. So I use this for my handle. You also need a skewer rod. Then you just push it in just to help you secure the handle while sticking it on your cake. Then you let this dry for about 2 to 3 days and you're good to go. So that's how to make the handle of the bag. So now I have my fondants all ready to be used. I'm going to be covering the cake with it now. Make sure it's not too thin or too thick. I'll just place it there. Smoothen it. Press in gently. Everything is even. So we're just doing a finishing touch on the cake. Okay, so at this point we're going to fix our handle. Just take it in gently. Now I'll just clean around my cake area. Now we're going to be steaming our cake to give it that shine and the glow. So you just do that gently. So I'll just add a little twist to my cake. Just add in some shimmer. Just give it a little shine. And voila, this is our bar cake. Okay, so this is our cinnamon roll, as you can see, and our beautiful handbag.
Wow, I agree. This is really gorgeous. You did a good job here. You nailed the representation of this bag from the picture to the real thing.
Thank you.
It's good. This is real creative work. You know, for some of you who want to challenge yourself on something very challenging, I think you can start with this. And of course, the cinnamon roll, I love this. I thought it was going to be something very difficult because it's not a regular snacks that we have here in Nigeria, right?
Yes.
And you can always like enjoy this with a cup of tea or very cold
Fresh juice, yes.
Oh, I'm going to try myself. But before we go further, we need to taste it. Let's see if it's as good as the regular snacks that we buy out or we get everywhere. So we'll taste this. Wow, this tastes very good. The cinnamon, it's very flavorful. The cinnamon is really empowering. Wow, I agree. This is a very good and easy to make snacks. I'm sure you agree with me. So this is where we end the program for today. So we'll come your way next week with a more exciting and interesting episode of Baker's World. You can follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. It's Baker's World on NTA. Till we see you next week, I am Funke Ashale.